McKee speaks on training Jake Paul for MMA fight. Jake Paul has won every boxing battle he has fought thus far. As a result, it appears that he may be interested in switching to MMA in the future. While Paul has a lot of options for MMA gyms, McKee, the Bellator featherweight champion, has promised to help him prepare for his MMA debut. That is a big deal. Jake Paul has done it again. What? You may ask. Jake knocked out the former UFC champion. Yes, you heard it right. It was a pay-per-view boxing battle. Jake has clearly taken over the sport, going from a child star to a YouTuber to defeating the UFC champion. Tyron Woodley was a welterweight UFC champion who lost his boxing debut to Jake Paul and swore that if Paul gave him another chance, he would get an "I love Jake Paul" tattoo. However, he did not have an easy time getting the rematch. Instead, Paul chose Tyson's brother Tommy Fury. But due to a medical issue, he had to withdraw. Then Woodley stepped in with less than 2 weeks' notice.
You had your chance.
Logan.
You had your chance.
Fall back.
You had your chance. I was nothing but respectful to you right now.
In Tyson's defense, we can say that 2 weeks is not much to prepare for a boxing match. But he was impatiently waiting for his rematch. So, what happened in the second match? Well, Jake Paul again defeated Tyron. Tyron failed again in his attempt to defeat Jake Paul. This time, Jake Paul went into his most recent bout with Woodley with a high level of confidence that can be clearly seen. And with this win, he had already explored a transfer to MMA in the future. He disclosed that he had already considered making the switch to MMA. He is likely to be coached by Javier Mendez. Not only that, but Javier will also be joined by former lightweight champ Khabib Nurmagomedov. Jake stated after his historic victory that if he can perform boxing at such a high level, he should be able to do MMA at the same level. And he is not wrong. He has his performances to back him up. If anyone still doubts him, his spectacular accomplishments in the boxing ring continued to quiet the doubters and haters. Until the 5th round, everything was going fine. But in the 6th round of their fight, he knocked out former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley with a brutal overhand right. That was spectacular. Everyone who watched was surprised. This is why McKee is willing to coach him. When AJ was asked what he thought about Jake Paul joining MMA, he responded that Jake should come and work out with him. Jake, he believes, has the potential to do good. According to AJ, anyone who has a mindset and focuses their mind on reaching a goal can achieve it. A mind is a powerful tool, so if Jake wants to do it, he can. Jake has already demonstrated his abilities and what he can do in the ring, according to AJ. So what if he wants to take it down a different path? AJ also owns and operates a thriving training facility in Southern California. So he remarked with a smile, and Jake knew where to come if he wanted to win. McKee trains players to be champions because he is a champion himself. So, if Jake Paul is committed to fighting after his tremendous victory over Tyron Woodley, he has one of the greatest fighters ready to coach him. McKee is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in Bellator MMA. Anyone will be fortunate enough to be trained by this legend. It is not surprising that some of boxing's top names have been relatively dormant during the pandemic. But will you know of one fighter who has remained active? Jake Paul has fought 5 times in the previous 2 years and gradually gained attention from fans and industry officials. The YouTube sensation has a 5-0 record. There isn't a single misstep. But where did all of this begin? Logan Paul, his brother, was the catalyst. He went up against KSI, a fellow social media celebrity. Jake then joined the club and was set to fight British YouTuber and Jib. So, we know the result. Jake was victorious. He then returned to the ring for an exhibition bout against TikTok singer Taylor Holder, whom he easily defeated this summer. After that, he overcame Nate Robinson, a former NBA player. So, Jake Paul was winning, but he was not satisfied. Until now, all his opponents were social media stars or players who hadn't fought before. After dominating fighters at the celebrity boxing level, Paul decided to take a step forward and challenge several well-known MMA professionals. Jake was then pitted against Ben Askren, the current ONE FC welterweight champion. With a vast right punch that forced the referee to stop the fight in the first round, Paul knocked out Askren. and the latest win of Jake is against Tyron Woodley. When YouTuber Jake Paul first entered the boxing ring as a professional 2 years, no one could have predicted that he would be this successful. Paul now has a myriad of alternatives that he may encounter in the future. The most apparent opponent would be a rematch with Tommy Fury, who had been Paul's opponent but had to withdraw due to a bacterial chest illness and a broken rib. Tyron came to help. Since Fury's withdrawal from the fight, Paul has frequently made fun of him. But there is some news making the rounds. In the boxing ring, Jake Paul's next opponent could be a betting favorite to be another former UFC champion. Anderson Silva, the former UFC middleweight champion, is the early favorite to face Jake Paul next. Jake Paul has never faced a real boxer. Even though he has won all of his battles, will he face a genuine boxer now? According to ESPN, Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson, and Canelo Alvarez are among the fighters Paul would like to face. Jake Paul's professional boxing career has just begun, but it seems he appears to be feeling the effects immediately. His health is suffering as a result of taking so many punches. He revealed in an interview that he had experienced memory loss and slurred speech since beginning his boxing career. He admitted that he occasionally forgets things that happened a few days earlier during conversations. He slurred my words now and then, which he never did before. He believes it used to affect him more quickly since he never relaxed. Paul stated that he had experienced between 20 and 30 concussions during his life. Well, that's a lot, especially for someone who is not at the professional level. He was dubious, though, of the exact number of concussions. The social media sensation went on to say that the majority of these concussions were caused by boxing, sparring, and football. He claimed he's spoken to hundreds of individuals on healing such injuries and how new research and science may help. Given his history of concussions, Paul's decision to pursue a career in the dangerous sport of boxing appears to be a clear no-no. Jake claims that physicians informed him so, but he remained with the sports nevertheless. But given his track record, you might wonder if Logan Paul is a boxer. So, let's go back to his high school years. He excelled at wrestling to the point where he competed in individual state championships. But then he shifted gears and entered the realm of YouTube, where he was also successful. He made a name for himself as an internet star. Logan Paul has come a long way since his first bout with KSI. The star began boxing due to a bit of argument, but he totally devoted himself to the sport. We can see he has a lot of potentials. In fact, he is also providing much-needed popularity to this sport. That's it for today, guys. We hope you found this video entertaining. Please let us know what you think and what you have to say. We'd be delighted to hear from you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share with your friends. Also, if you want to receive regular updates, click the bell symbol. We'll meet you in our next video.